Unlock Blue Hour Beauty using Twilight Enhancer AI is our topic today on Luminar Coffee Break. Let's see what we can accomplish in 10 minutes or less, starting now. Hello, everyone. All right, so we're going to dive in and work with this beautiful landscape photo my good buddy Jacob Boris let me use. I do want to dedicate this episode today to a good friend of mine who just recently passed. Chuck, this goes out to you. All right, so here we are. Beautiful image. Now, keep in mind, Jacob this was a bracketed panoramic shot that he did. So this is one of the darker panoramic images, and I purposely chose this one because I want to show you that if you took a shot like this, how to enhance it. Obviously, he did it purposely to make it look like this because he put it all together like an HDR panorama. So watch what we're going to do. The first step, now keep in mind, this is what it looks like. This is what we're going to create with it. All right. Now, I'm going to come over here, and the first thing I do need to do is just enhance the image. So we'll get the image looking good. Maybe bump up the sky. All right. Now, he does have a few dust spots. We'll take care of that a little bit later. Let's increase the structure a little. Bring it out. All right, good. So there we have it. That's a good starting point. Before and after. Right now, if we stopped, it still would look very, very good. What we want to do is come down to the landscape tools, and here it is, Twilight Enhancer AI. Now, there's several you could pick. So just when you have time, go through each one of these. We're going to work on the Blue Hour one. Now, from here, give it a moment. Oh, look at that. Already, it looks good. I like the amount the way it is. I can adjust the exposure just to make the overall scene a little bit dark, which I will. Now, here's for the sky. I can decide how much of that blue hour I want into the sky, but notice what it's doing to the reflection in the water. It's pretty cool. It's adding it to there too. And then let's see if we pop a little colors out. Oh, yeah, there's a couple colors in that original sky. And this is where you can spend time tweaking it. So that was sky. Now dawn. Well, what does dawn do? Think of dawn light. And the light that you would see during the dawn hour is what we're going to adjust. So here it is. I can go to an extreme. We're going to keep it right about here. And then here's the amount. How much of that dawn lighting that we want to apply and the size of it. See that? Look at that. So it's like where the sun is just coming up over those mountains. All right. And now we can adjust the scene. So from here, we want it a little bit more in shade. Do I want to bring it out? I want to keep it right about here. And again, I'm just going to extremes. And I like doing extremes just so I can see what it's doing. And then land on an area. And then, of course, is it oversaturated? Dial it back a bit. Now, there's no human in the scene, so I don't have to worry about either of that. But here's what's really cool about this water refinement. Look at this. I want to add a little blur to the water because, again, if we did shoot it at this hour, that water is going to be crystal, or almost like glass like. All right, let's see. And actually, I'm going to use the tool before and after. So here's the original. Ooh, look at that. There we are, the overall original to this. All right. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper. So with the amount, I'm going to go a little bit more. There we go. Right there. All right. So now that we have it set, I'm going to show you a little tip, a little trick that I just discovered, which I really think is cool. If you think you went overboard with your edits, watch this little trick. So we're going to come down here. And I'm going to create a preset. Now, with the preset, I already named it once, Jacob. You know what? My good buddy Chuck, let's call it Chuck. All right, here we go. Let me get caps off. Sorry, Chuck. There we go, version 1. All right, now why did I do this? Ready? Now I can take all of the tools we just used on this image. Look at this. Now I can dial it back. And if I feel that it was too much, look at this. 80% is usually pretty good. Yep, I dialed it back to 80%. And now what I just did was I took everything we just did and I was able to dial it in proportionally all the way through. So that's a really good way if you ever wonder if you're over editing. Now that we did that, notice I didn't add either noise reduction or in this case here, I didn't get rid of the dust spots because that's not something I want to save in a preset. So remove dust spots, give it a moment. And now there's a couple other little things I want to tweak with it, just get a little more creative, which I didn't want to add in the preset. So again, these are things I want to do to the image to make it look better, but it's going to be pertaining to each of this image. So whenever you design something like this, design it for the bulk of all your images and then go back and tweak it. So look, you did a great job getting rid of those dust spots. Now what I wanted to do is come up here to enhance AI. And I'm going to bring out the entire image. And actually, you know what? Scratch that. I'm going to do something instead. I'm going to use a vignette. So what I'm really wanting to do is that mountain. I really want to add an emphasis to this mountain right here. So if I click on the mountain, there we go, and dial it back a bit, but I want to add inner light. That's what I was looking for right there. Right about here. Good, and then dial it back just a touch. Let's see if it makes a difference. Yep, look at that. Look how it draws my eye right to the mountain or the peak, and then we're done. All right, so let's look at before and after. Here's the original. And using a few tweaks, and then, of course, the Twilight enhancer, that's what we came up with. Pretty cool. So, and that little tip I gave you at the end, where you could create a preset of what you just did, then you can go back and take that preset and dial it back. So if, let's say, you've already created this, it looks phenomenal, you love it, and you're like, you know what, I really don't want a preset for all of it, but let me see the next day if I went overboard. If you look at it and then, oh man, I did go overboard, instead of going through each and every one of those edits, do that little trick, preset, dial it back, usually around 80%, and it'll look sharp. And then if you want, you can just delete the preset afterwards. All right. Well, I hope that was extra. I hope that helped you out with the Twilight Enhancer tool, plus that little extra bonus tip. Now, if you're here, please stick around for the Ask Me Anything segment where you can ask questions about this topic here or any topic related to photography. If you're watching this on the rebroadcast, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you at the next coffee break.